Welcome back to my channel LinkedIn Farmer. Today's video based on Forests Our Lifeline, Chapter 12, Class 7 and subject is Science. So before starting this video, please like and subscribe to my channel LinkedIn Farmer. Let's start. Introduction of Forest. A forest is a large and densely wooded area predominantly covered with trees, shrubs, plants, and various forms of vegetation. Forests are essential components of the Earth's ecosystems and play a crucial role in maintaining biodiversity, regulating climate, providing habitats for wildlife, and offering numerous resources for human use. Forests can vary widely in terms of their composition, depending on the geographical region, climate, and specific ecological factors. They can be found in various forms, such as tropical rainforests, temperate forests, boreal forests, and deciduous forests, each having distinct characteristics and species diversity. Forests also serve as carbon sinks, absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere through the process of photosynthesis, which helps in mitigating the impacts of climate change. Additionally, forests offer recreational opportunities and serve as valuable resources for timber, medicinal plants, and other natural products. It's essential to protect and sustainably manage forests to preserve their ecological functions and ensure their continued benefits for both nature and human society. Importance of forest. Forests are of immense importance to the environment, wildlife, and human society due to the numerous benefits they provide. Here are some key reasons why forests are crucial. Biodiversity. Forests are incredibly rich in biodiversity, providing habitats for countless plant and animal species. They support a wide variety of flora and fauna, many of which are unique and found nowhere else on Earth. Forests play a vital role in maintaining ecological balance and preserving the genetic diversity of life on our planet. Climate regulation. Forests are essential in regulating the Earth's climate. Through the process of photosynthesis, trees absorb carbon dioxide, a greenhouse gas, from the atmosphere and store carbon in their biomass and soil. This helps to mitigate the impact of climate change by acting as carbon sinks and reducing the concentration of greenhouse gases that contribute to global warming. Oxygen production. Forests are often referred to as the lungs of the earth because they are major producers of oxygen. Through photosynthesis, trees and plants release oxygen, which is vital for the survival of all aerobic organisms, including humans. Watershed protection. Forests play a critical role in maintaining healthy watersheds. They act as natural filters, helping to purify water by trapping sediments and absorbing pollutants. Forests also regulate water flow, reducing the risk of flooding and ensuring a steady water supply during dry periods. Soil conservation. The roots of trees and vegetation in forests help bind the soil, preventing erosion caused by wind and water. Forests play a significant role in preserving soil fertility and preventing the loss of valuable topsoil, which is essential for agriculture. Wildlife habitat. Forests provide crucial habitats for a wide range of wildlife species, including mammals, birds, insects, and amphibians. These ecosystems offer food, shelter, and breeding grounds, supporting the survival of numerous species. Economic benefits. Forests are valuable resources for human economies. They provide timber for construction and various wood-based products, as well as non-timber forest products like fruits, nuts, resins, and medicinal plants. Forest-based industries generate income and employment for many communities around the world. Recreation and tourism. Forests offer opportunities for outdoor recreation and ecotourism. People visit forests for hiking, camping, bird watching, and other nature-based activities, promoting physical and mental well-being while contributing to local economies. Cultural and spiritual significance. Forests hold cultural and spiritual significance for many indigenous and local communities. They are often considered sacred places and play essential roles in traditional practices, rituals, and storytelling. Scientific research. Forests are living laboratories for scientific research and discovery. They provide valuable insights into ecology, climate change, biodiversity, and numerous other fields, helping us better understand the natural world and our place in it. Preserving and sustainably managing forests is crucial for the well-being of the planet and future generations. Responsible forest management, conservation efforts, and global cooperation are necessary to ensure that forests continue to thrive and provide their vital benefits. Independence of plants and animals in forest. In a forest ecosystem, plants and animals exhibit a high degree of interdependence, meaning they rely on one another for various aspects of their survival and well-being. This interdependence creates a delicate balance that sustains the ecosystem as a whole. Let's explore the independence of plants and animals in a forest. Independence of plants. Photosynthesis. Plants are capable of producing their own food through the process of photosynthesis. They use sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water to create glucose and oxygen. This ability to synthesize their food is a fundamental aspect of their independence. Nutrient absorption. Plants have root systems that allow them to absorb nutrients from the soil, which are essential for their growth and development. They can take up nutrients such as nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium from the soil to support their metabolic needs. Reproduction. Plants have various methods of reproduction, including seed production, spore formation, and vegetative propagation. They can disperse their seeds and reproduce independently without the direct involvement of animals. Independence of animals. Heterotrophic nutrition. Unlike plants, animals are heterotrophs, meaning they cannot produce their own food and must consume other organisms for nutrition. They feed on plants, other animals, or both, depending on their dietary preferences. Mobility. Animals generally have the ability to move from one place to another, which allows them to search for food, seek shelter, and find suitable mating partners independently. Interdependence between plants and animals. Pollination. Many plants in forests rely on animals, such as insects, birds, and bats, for pollination. These animals help transfer pollen from one flower to another, facilitating the fertilization process and ensuring the production of seeds and fruits. Seed dispersal. Animals play a crucial role in seed dispersal. Some plants produce fruits that are attractive to animals, and when these fruits are consumed, the seeds pass through the animal's digestive system and are later dispersed in different locations, aiding in the plant's reproduction. Habitat and shelter. Animals often depend on specific plants for shelter and habitat. Trees, shrubs, and plants provide hiding places, nesting sites, and protection from predators for various forest-dwelling animals. Food web. The interactions between plants and animals form complex food webs in forest ecosystems. Predators depend on prey animals for food, while herbivores rely on plants as their primary food source. This intricate web of relationships ensures the flow of energy and nutrients through the ecosystem. In summary, while plants and animals in a forest exhibit certain degrees of independence in terms of their metabolic processes and modes of reproduction, their survival and functioning within the ecosystem are highly interconnected. The interdependence between plants and animals in a forest creates a delicate ecological balance, and any disturbance to one component can have cascading effects on the entire ecosystem. Layers of vegetation in a forest. In a forest, the vegetation is often organized into distinct layers or strata, each with its characteristic plant species and ecological functions. These layers are vertically structured, creating a complex and diverse ecosystem. The main layers of vegetation in a typical forest include canopy layer, understory layer, shrub layer, herb layer, forest floor, root layer, canopy layer. The canopy is the uppermost layer of the forest and consists of the tallest and most dominant trees. These trees have large, spreading crowns that form a continuous leafy roof, which shades the layers below. The canopy is crucial for photosynthesis, as it receives the most sunlight and supports a wide variety of plant and animal life. Understory layer. Below the canopy, you'll find the understory layer, consisting of smaller trees, shrubs, and saplings. These plants are adapted to lower light conditions due to the shading from the canopy above. The understory provides habitat for various species of birds, insects, and small mammals. Shrub layer. Beneath the understory, there is a layer of shrubs and bushes. These plants are shorter and more compact than the understory trees, and they play an essential role in providing additional habitat and food sources for wildlife. Herb layer. The herb layer is composed of herbaceous plants, including grasses, ferns, and other non-woody vegetation. These plants typically grow close to the forest floor and are adapted to low light levels. The herb layer is important for soil stabilization and nutrient cycling. Forest floor. The forest floor is the lowest layer and is covered by a layer of leaf litter, fallen branches, and decomposing organic matter. This layer is teeming with microorganisms, fungi, and invertebrates that break down the organic material, contributing to nutrient recycling and soil enrichment. Root layer. While not visible, the root layer is an essential part of the forest ecosystem. It consists of the extensive network of roots from trees, shrubs, and other plants that anchor the vegetation and facilitate nutrient uptake from the soil. These layers of vegetation create a vertical structure within the forest, allowing for efficient use of light and resources. The diversity of plants and animals across these layers contributes to the overall health and resilience of the forest ecosystem. Different types of forests, such as tropical rainforests, temperate deciduous forests, and boreal forests, may have variations in the specific plant species and arrangement of these layers, but the general concept of vertical stratification remains consistent. Recycling of nutrients in the forest. Nutrient recycling is a fundamental ecological process that occurs in forests and other ecosystems. It refers to the continuous cycling and reuse of essential nutrients, such as carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and others, within the ecosystem. Nutrient recycling in the forest involves various biogeochemical processes that allow nutrients to move between living organisms, the soil, and the atmosphere. The key components and steps of nutrient recycling in the forest are as follows. Decomposition. The process begins with the shedding of leaves, twigs, and dead plant and animal material on the forest floor. Microorganisms, fungi, and detritivores, such as insects and earthworms, break down this organic matter through decomposition. During decomposition, organic substances are chemically transformed into simpler inorganic compounds. Mineralization. Decomposers break down organic matter into its inorganic constituents, releasing essential nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium in mineral forms. Examples are ammonium, nitrates, phosphates. These mineral nutrients are now available for uptake by plants. Absorption by plants. Forest plants, including trees, shrubs, and understory vegetation, absorb mineral nutrients from the soil through their root systems. These nutrients are used for plant growth, development, and reproduction. Assimilation into biomass. As plants take up nutrients, these elements become part of their living biomass. The nutrients are used in various physiological processes and become incorporated into leaves, stems, roots, and fruits. Herbivores and predators. Herbivorous animals consume plant material, acquiring nutrients from the plants they eat. When these herbivores are preyed upon by predators, the nutrients are transferred up the food chain. Litter fall. As trees and plants shed leaves, fruits, and branches, the organic matter adds to the forest floor's leaf litter. This organic material becomes part of the detrital pool, starting the decomposition process anew. Cycling through decomposers, microorganisms and detritivores continue to decompose the newly added leaf litter, recycling the nutrients back into the soil. Leaching and runoff. Some nutrients may be washed away from the soil through processes like leaching, where water carries nutrients downward, and runoff, where water moves over the surface. These nutrients may eventually be transported to streams, rivers, and other water bodies. Plant uptake and nutrient loss. The cycle repeats as plants take up nutrients from the soil, and animals consume plant material, while some nutrients are lost through leaching and runoff. Humus formation. During the decomposition process, organic matter on the forest floor undergoes further breakdown by microorganisms. As this decomposition progresses, a dark, stable, and nutrient-rich substance called humus is formed. Humus is the end product of the decomposition of organic matter, and it consists of complex organic compounds that are resistant to further decomposition. Humus enrichment. Humus plays a crucial role in nutrient recycling in the forest. It enriches the soil with organic matter and serves as a reservoir of nutrients. Due to its stable nature, humus can persist in the soil for an extended period, ensuring a steady supply of nutrients for plants and other organisms. Nutrient retention. Humus has a high cation exchange capacity, CEC, which means it can attract and retain mineral nutrients like calcium, magnesium, and potassium. This capacity helps prevent the loss of essential nutrients through leaching, making them more readily available for plant uptake. Improved soil structure. Humus also enhances soil structure by promoting aggregation of soil particles. This improves soil aeration and water infiltration, creating a healthier environment for plant root growth. Carbon sequestration. Humus contains a significant amount of carbon. By storing carbon in the soil, humus plays a vital role in mitigating climate change as it helps remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Beneficial microbial activity. Humus provides an ideal environment for beneficial soil microorganisms, such as bacteria and fungi, which play essential roles in nutrient cycling and the decomposition of organic matter. Sustaining biodiversity. The presence of humus and its positive impact on soil fertility support a diverse range of plant species in the forest. This diversity, in turn, sustains various animal species that depend on specific plant communities for their survival. Overall, nutrient recycling in the forest is a dynamic and balanced process, ensuring the sustainable use of essential elements for the growth and survival of the diverse plant and animal life within the ecosystem. It is a crucial mechanism that maintains the fertility and productivity of forest soils and contributes to the overall health and resilience of the forest ecosystem. Humus is a crucial component of the nutrient recycling process in the forest ecosystem. Its formation, enrichment of soil with nutrients, and support of beneficial microorganisms contribute to the overall health and productivity of the forest, creating a balanced and sustainable environment for the diverse flora and fauna that inhabit it. Deforestation. Deforestation refers to the large-scale removal or destruction of forests and wooded areas, resulting in the conversion of forested land into non-forest land. It is a process driven primarily by human activities, such as logging, agriculture expansion, urbanization, infrastructure development, and mining. Deforestation can have significant negative impacts on the environment, wildlife, climate, and human society. Some of the key consequences of deforestation include loss of biodiversity. Forests are incredibly rich in biodiversity, housing a vast array of plant and animal species. Deforestation leads to the destruction of habitat for numerous species, resulting in loss of biodiversity and, in some cases, endangerment or extinction of wildlife. Disruption of ecosystems. Forests are complex ecosystems with intricate relationships between plants, animals, and microorganisms. Clearing forests disrupts these ecosystems, leading to imbalances in nutrient cycling, water regulation, and other ecological processes. Climate change. Forests play a vital role in mitigating climate change by acting as carbon sinks, absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Deforestation releases this stored carbon back into the air, contributing to greenhouse gas emissions and global warming. Soil erosion. Tree roots help stabilize soil, preventing erosion. When forests are cleared, the soil becomes more susceptible to erosion by wind and water, leading to the loss of fertile topsoil and reduced agricultural productivity. Disruption of water cycles. Forests play a crucial role in regulating the water cycle by capturing, storing, and releasing water. Deforestation can alter precipitation patterns, decrease water infiltration, and lead to changes in local and regional hydrology. Impact on indigenous and local communities. Deforestation can have severe social and economic consequences for indigenous and local communities that rely on forests for their livelihoods, cultural practices, and traditional knowledge. Loss of medicinal resources. Many plants in forests have medicinal properties and are used by traditional healers and modern medicine. Deforestation may lead to the loss of potential medicinal resources. Increased climate vulnerability. Deforestation can make regions more vulnerable to the impacts of climate change, such as increased frequency and intensity of droughts, floods, and extreme weather events. Reduced ecotourism potential. Forests are often popular destinations for ecotourism due to their diverse flora and fauna. Deforestation diminishes the ecotourism potential, impacting local economies that depend on tourism revenue. Global implications. Deforestation is a global issue, as forests provide essential ecological services that benefit the entire planet. Loss of forests in one region can have far-reaching consequences for the global environment. Efforts to combat deforestation include sustainable forest management, reforestation, afforestation, conservation measures, and international agreements aimed at curbing deforestation and promoting responsible land use practices. Protecting and preserving forests is crucial for biodiversity conservation, climate change mitigation, and the well-being of present and future generations. Conservation of forest. Conservation of forests is the intentional and systematic effort to protect, preserve, and sustainably manage forest ecosystems for their ecological, social, economic, and cultural values. It involves the responsible use of forest resources while ensuring the long-term health and resilience of these vital ecosystems. Conservation of forests is essential to address the environmental challenges posed by deforestation, biodiversity loss, climate change, and the need for sustainable development. Here are some key strategies and approaches for the conservation of forests. Protected areas and reserves. Establishing protected areas, such as national parks, wildlife reserves, and nature sanctuaries, helps safeguard forests and their biodiversity. These designated areas serve as refuges for endangered species and unique ecosystems. Sustainable forest management. Promoting sustainable forest management practices ensures that the harvesting of timber and non-timber forest products is done in a way that maintains the forest's ecological integrity, while also providing social and economic benefits to local communities. Reforestation and afforestation. Planting new trees in areas that have been deforested or converting non-forest lands into forests through afforestation helps restore degraded landscapes and increase forest cover. Community involvement. Engaging local communities in forest conservation efforts is crucial for the success of conservation initiatives. Recognizing the rights and knowledge of indigenous and local communities and involving them in decision-making can lead to more effective and sustainable conservation practices. Monitoring and enforcement. Regular monitoring of forest areas and enforcing laws against illegal logging and poaching are vital to combat illicit activities that threaten forests. Education and awareness. Raising awareness among the general public about the importance of forests, their conservation, and the value they provide is essential for garnering public support and participation in conservation efforts. Ecosystem restoration. Implementing restoration projects in degraded forest areas helps bring back the original ecological functions and biodiversity of the ecosystem. Biodiversity conservation. Focusing on the protection of endangered and keystone species within forests helps maintain biodiversity and ecological balance. Climate change mitigation. Recognizing forests as significant carbon sinks and promoting initiatives that reduce emissions from deforestation and forest degradation, RADD+, can help combat climate change. International cooperation. Collaborating with other countries and participating in international agreements and conventions, such as the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, UNFCCC, and the Convention on Biological Diversity, CBD, enables coordinated efforts for global forest conservation. Conservation of forests is a multifaceted and collective responsibility that involves governments, organizations, communities, and individuals working together to ensure the long-term survival of these critical ecosystems. By safeguarding forests, we protect invaluable biodiversity, support climate change mitigation, sustain livelihoods, and preserve the planet's natural heritage for future generations. Food chain. A food chain is a linear representation of the transfer of energy and nutrients from one organism to another within an ecosystem. It describes the feeding, relationships between different organisms, showing how energy flows from one trophic level to another. In a typical food chain, each link represents a different species, and the direction of arrows indicates the flow of energy as one organism is consumed by another. For example, a simple terrestrial food chain could be grass, rabbit, fox. In this food chain, the grass is the primary producer, the rabbit is the primary consumer, herbivore, and the fox is the secondary consumer, carnivore. Energy from the sun is captured by the grass through photosynthesis, and as the rabbit eats the grass, energy is transferred from the grass to the rabbit. Similarly, when the fox preys on the rabbit, energy is passed from the rabbit to the fox. Food web. A food web is a more complex and interconnected representation of feeding relationships within an ecosystem. It consists of multiple interconnected food chains, illustrating the various pathways through which energy and nutrients flow between different species. Unlike a food chain, a food web takes into account that most organisms are part of multiple feeding relationships and have more than one predator or prey. In a food web, organisms are organized into trophic levels based on their position in the energy flow. Primary producers, such as plants, occupy the base of the food web. Primary consumers, herbivores, feed on the primary producers, while secondary and tertiary consumers, carnivores and omnivores, feed on herbivores and each other, respectively. Decomposers and scavengers are also part of the food web, breaking down dead organic matter and recycling nutrients. For example, a simplified forest food web could include trees as primary producers, herbivores like rabbits and deer as primary consumers, and predators like foxes and owls as secondary consumers. Additionally, decomposers like fungi and bacteria would play a role in breaking down fallen leaves and returning nutrients to the soil. Food webs are more representative of the complexity and interdependence of ecological relationships within an ecosystem, highlighting the diverse interactions between species and the importance of maintaining balance for the stability and health of the entire ecosystem. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe.